Good afternoon and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town. I'd like to welcome you to the busiest pedestrian crosswalk in town here on Main Street right by Town Hall. Over 1,700 commuters take the New Jersey Transit trains to Newark and New York every day, and they have to cross Main Street to get to the train station. And that's why we're here today with the Woodbridge Police Department, the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority, Keep Middlesex Moving, and representatives from state and county law enforcement and traffic safety agencies, along with regional medical service providers, to announce the Street Smart Woodbridge Pedestrian Safety Traffic Enforcement and Education Campaign. The Woodbridge PD and the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority have partnered since 2006 to sponsor Street Smart Woodbridge, a public awareness campaign geared to educate pedestrians and motorists about pedestrian safety. Again this year, the NJTPA provided funding for the Woodbridge PD enforcement activities and additional marketing and awareness materials targeting pedestrian safety. The message is simple. Motorists must stop for a pedestrian in the crosswalk. The Woodbridge PD will continue to conduct pedestrian decoy, cop in the crosswalk, enforcement details in the various downtown shopping areas, Main Street in Woodbridge, Inman Avenue in Colonia, New Brunswick Avenue in Fords, and at walking areas with high volume of pedestrian activity and vehicle traffic. Additionally, the PD's Pedestrian Awareness, Education, and Enforcement Street Smart Woodbridge has worked hundreds of man-hours on routing patrols during peak pedestrian travel times and are issuing citations to motorists who fail to stop, not yield, for pedestrians and issue summonses for distracted driving. The goal is to let pedestrians and drivers of all ages know that pedestrian safety and distracted driving is a major cause of pedestrian accidents. We as a town, with help from our partners in the state and county, are coming together to increase public awareness and enforcement to decrease pedestrian accidents and fatalities. Woodbridge is not only the best town around, we want to be the safest town around. At this point, I would like to introduce Lois Goldman, the Director of Long-Term Transportation Planning, to say a few words.
Got it. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. We're very excited to be back in Woodbridge, which, as the mayor said, was one of the first communities that we worked with for the Street Smart campaign. Since that time, Street Smart New Jersey has grown to over 90 communities statewide. For those of you that are not familiar with Street Smart, it's a public education and awareness campaign that combines education and enforcement in an effort to change behaviors. Last year, 177 pedestrians died in the state of New Jersey. That's almost 2 per day. Our campaign strives to help New Jersey realize its goal of being a towards zero death state. This goal was established in 2015 in the Strategic Highway Safety Plan. This means that New Jersey, like the Vision Zero cities of Jersey City, Hoboken, and New York City, believe that no traffic fatalities are acceptable. We believe that this goal is achievable, but it will take everyone working together. Together, we can change the safety culture of our state. Our campaign focuses on 5 core messages, as the mayor mentioned: getting drivers to stop for people crossing and to slow down, getting people to use crosswalks and wait for the walk signal when crossing, and we want everyone to avoid distractions. This campaign comes at a great time because April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. In the few seconds it takes for you to look at a text or make a phone call, you've traveled quite a distance and you can cause a crash. We want everyone to remember to keep their heads up and their phones down. We're working with the Center for Advanced Infrastructure and Transportation at Rutgers on this campaign. They were out at this intersection to observe behaviors before the kickoff event, and they'll be back when the campaign is concluded. They are also circulating a community survey, which I encourage you to participate in. This helps us improve our campaigns going forward. Before I go, I just also wanted to mention that in addition to Street Smart New Jersey, the NJTPA funds studies and engineering improvements to make our roads safer. For example, we worked with New Jersey Transit on a planning study right here at the Woodbridge train station. The study looked at how bicyclists and pedestrians get to the station. This initiative is another example of how the NJTPA works with committed partners like Woodbridge to make pedestrian and bicycle safety a priority. Recommendations of this study will include high visibility crosswalks, bicycle parking, striping, and signage. We also fund physical improvements. The NJTPA board, which freeholder Charles Kenny is a member of, has allocated more than $164 million since fiscal year 2005 for 131 projects in our region to make the region safer. This includes an $8.1 million project in Metuchen on their main street, which will be starting this spring. In closing, I'd just like to say thank you again for participating in this important program. Working together, we can make it safer for everyone.
Director, I want to thank all the officers of the Woodbridge PD for being out today, the best police department in the state of New Jersey. You have officers Augusta, Horvath, Body, Bartko, another Horvath, Joe Angelo, Cesare, and DeStefano, and our Chief Law Enforcement Officer, Scott Kuzma. And now I'd like to introduce the Police Director of the best force in the state, Bob Hubner.
Thank you, Mayor. In 2016, Woodbridge took part in the Street Smart campaign with great success. Since that time, we used the initiatives from that program on a daily basis. This year, it gives us another opportunity to educate the public, both pedestrians and motorists, so we can make our community safer. With that said, I'd like to bring up Officer Angelo to speak about the program.
First, I'm going to start with a few statistics just geared towards Woodbridge Township. Since we took part of this initiative in 2016, for failure to stop for pedestrians, 135 summonses were issued that year. 2017, that number hit 74. 2018, 96, and to date for 2019, 37 summonses were already issued. Regarding accidents in 2016, 68 motor vehicle crashes involving pedestrians, 50 sustained injuries, resulting in 2 fatalities. In 2017, 56 motor vehicle crashes involved pedestrians, 44 injuries, and 2 more fatalities. 2018, 67 crashes, 47 injuries, 2 resulting in fatalities, and to date, 15 crashes and already 10 sustaining injuries. I remember several years ago in the conference with the NJPTA when Woodbridge was chosen as one of the pilot programs. Watching what this program has grown to has been nothing short but remarkable. The program is geared towards both driver and pedestrian. The driver to make sure there's no pedestrians in crosswalks, to pay attention, to not be on their cell phone, to not be distracted, as well as the pedestrian to look up, to cross where they're supposed to, wear bright colored clothing at nighttime, and not cross where prohibited. The last data, when I was gathering this information, the State Police Comparative Data Report, 183 pedestrians were killed in 2017. The number that stood out to me was 93 were crossing where prohibited, meaning they weren't supposed to cross where they were crossing. Programs like this, with enforcement and education, we can get them to cross where they're supposed to and cross while safety, with the goal to get that number down to 0, as a result to get all fatalities in the state down to 0. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Angelo. I'd now like to introduce Kate O'Connor from the Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey to say a few words.
At the Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey, we support and advocate for individuals affected by brain injuries. We offer support coordination and help raise awareness through education and prevention on topics such as pedestrian safety and distracted driving. Every year in New Jersey, thousands of people are hospitalized for brain injuries due to motor vehicle crashes, falls, and being struck by a vehicle. When someone sustains a brain injury, they are often left with life-altering injuries, such as memory loss, difficulty speaking, anger, and anxiety, just to name a few. Throughout the years at the Brain Injury Alliance of New Jersey, we have worked with many clients and their families whose lives have been changed forever because someone was reckless behind the wheel or failed to stop for someone in a crosswalk. This even happened to my own brother. We are proud to partner with organizations such as Street Smart, who focus on raising awareness and reinforcing safe behaviors so that our communities, like Woodbridge, will become a safer place to drive, bike, and walk in the near future.
I'd like to introduce a few people who are not speaking. Our First Ward Councilwoman, that we are in the First Ward of Woodbridge, Nancy Drum, our Chamber of Commerce Executive Director, Karen Barnes, and from Keep Middlesex Moving, Christina Fowler and Lynn Cuevas. So thank you all for being with us. Before we close, I just want to say one thing that the township's doing. We are paving, the county's actually paving Rahway Avenue. That spot right over there in front of Berkeley College, across from Parker Press Park, is a very, very dangerous crosswalk. Because it's so wide, I can't tell you how many times I've pulled up toward the left and stopped, and because the road is so wide, the person behind me doesn't see the pedestrian. They go right in the right and cross and endanger the pedestrian. So I'd like to add one thing to Joe's list, is even if you think the car is stopped to let you go, still be diligent and still be aware, because you never know what kind of knucklehead's going to come to his right, to our right or left. It's happened so many times at that intersection, and now because of the paving, we're redesigning the whole intersection and shrinking the lanes so that there's no longer going to be the ability for somebody to go past a car stopped to the left and on the right, or to go past on the left to a car stopped on the right. It's a very, very dangerous intersection. We're doing what we can to make it safer for pedestrians, and we hope that people are more aware of that intersection also. So thank you all very much for coming out here today. We appreciate your help, and we're looking forward to a great program. And now I'd like to present this proclamation, an official mayor's proclamation, Street Smart Woodbridge, to the New Jersey Transportation Planning Authority, and I hope you display this proudly in your office.